Moving into our last story of the day. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, folks, please do so. You are supporting a true American patriot and a fellow conservative. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Folks, you're going to love this one. Piers Morgan shuts down a Democrat lawmaker for attacking Riley Gaines, then Gaines responds to the accusations herself. So, if you remember, Leah Thomas, a biological male, decided to be trans and pretend to be a woman and go into swimming and basically shellacked all the women. And Riley Gaines basically lost a championship national title, I believe, to Leah Thomas. And Riley Gaines is an actual woman, biological woman, and was doing all these speaking engagements. And she was the one that we covered like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, that was being attacked by these trans, woke, LGBTQ liberal mob when she was at a speaking event. Mind you, that the whole LGBTQ community, the whole idea of it's supposed to be inclusive, right? That, well, we'll accept everybody. We'll accept who you are. No, you won't. No, you won't. We got a video clip here for you in 1 second, folks. Piers Morgan shut down Representative Katie Porter, Democrat of California, on Friday for accusing female athlete Riley Gaines of using her platform to seek attention. Gaines made national headlines last week after she was accosted by a mob of transgender activists after she delivered a speech at San Francisco State University. The school later praised the transgender activists. You heard that correctly. After she was literally physically assaulted, was barricaded in a room for hours, being protected by some police officers because they couldn't escort her out of the building for fear of her safety. And so rather than the school going after the trans activists, those that were disrupting the speech, those that were limiting somebody's free speech, doing all the physically attacking her, who do they praise? The transgender activists. Oh, they're so brave. Oh, it's such a nice thing. It is so head spinning. So during an appearance on HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, Porter said she strongly disagrees with Gaines for advocating against transgender athletes competing in women's sports. Morgan immediately challenged Porter. We got the clip for y'all, folks. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Not wrong, but this is so logical. That's the thing that blows my mind, is that are we really as a society getting to a point where we can't actually look at objective facts and truths and all come to an agreement on that something is wrong? When you got a biological male that is shattering your previous record, historical record, by 50 seconds, and you can't sit there and look at that and go, man, that's probably not a good idea to have that person competing because they have biological differences than an actual female athlete. But for some reason, in 2023, I mean, we would have never thought this was a discussion. And what's amazing here, can we just back up for one moment, is that Dennis Prager was on Real Time with Bill Maher talking about all this. In 2019, he was talking about all this. Bill Maher laughed about it, and everybody was laughing about it other than Republicans and conservatives. Dennis Prager was sitting there calling it out, and he said, you'll see. And now we're here, and now on Real Time with Bill Maher, he's talking about it. The whole thing that he was laughing about literally 4 or 5 years ago is all of a sudden coming to fruition. So you have this taking place. Democrats are for it, but you know what, people, as you saw, will still vote Democrat, which is amazing that they can't sit there and go, wow, there's actually a difference. All you need to do is look up a woman trying to fight a fighter or a woman playing hockey. Talk to a woman hockey player and ask her if she'll go out there and play in the NHL full contact. Any woman hockey player, full contact against a guy that's 6'5", 245, 250. Hey, you know what? Let's take it a step further. Why don't you have any woman go up against any football team in the National Football League? And let's see how that one works out. As professionals they want to be, go out against the National Football League. Let's see how that works out for them. They all know, Serena Williams even knows, even in tennis, that men are stronger, they're more powerful. It's a whole different ball game. Folks, the men's 15 and under, meaning ages 15 and under, beat the USA women's hockey or soccer team. 15-year-old kids beat women's Megan Rapinoe's freaking soccer team, the Olympic soccer team. But there's no biological difference. 15-year-old men, I shouldn't make, but kids are beating out adult women in their own sport, but there's no biological difference. We can't talk about the differences in this whatsoever. So, as I mentioned, Riley did respond to all this. The former all-sec women made it clear on Saturday that she is not simply speaking for herself, and she is definitely not speaking out to gain attention. Hey, so let's actually just see the tweet itself here. Let's pull it up for you, folks. She said, hey, Representative Katie Porter, I'm not speaking up for myself. I'm done playing sports. I'm not fighting for me. I'm actually supposed to be in dental school this year, but I've changed my life plans because I see what's at stake if someone doesn't fight for the present and the next generation. She's not wrong. Absolutely not wrong, but Democrats are going to turn a blind eye here. Typical. The same way they want to turn a blind eye to the crime, the same way they want to turn a blind eye to what's going on in our education system with activist teachers in the room, transing your kids, grooming them without your knowledge, creating these clubs with drag queens coming out and giving your kids lap dances all the while they're taking your hard-earned money that's supposed to be for lunch and tipping these drag queens without any of your knowledge. In the same way that they're for defunding the police, in the same way they're for calling MAGA supporters extremists and a threat to democracy. I mean, you look at everything from this party, and it really does blow my mind that people could sit there and actually continue to vote for that party. Why don't you just take a shot in the dark with the Republicans and conservatives? I understand that Republicans and conservatives aren't as great as sometimes we make them out to be. I get that we have our own issues and our own problems, but if you weigh out the pros and cons, I'm sorry, I just don't understand. I try to understand how you could sit there and logically be like, yep, Democrats is the way to go. You can, and the reason why I say that too is you can objectively just look at it. Look at the cities. Look at the way that they're ran. Look at their policies. Look at what they're implementing. It does not take a rocket scientist. And I think what's taking place too is that there's ego. They don't want to sit there and actually digest the fact that the party they've been with, the party of the Ku Klux Klan, the party that's anti-rights for blacks, the same party that's for transing your kids, the same party that's for defunding the police, the same party that's for utilizing the FBI and the government to go after your own Twitter DMs and as well as your own privacy, the same party that wants to diminish the Second Amendment, the same party that wants to remove the firearms from your home and for you to protect yourself, the same party that's for silencing speech of others that they don't agree with, but they want the freedom of speech for themselves, the same party that masquerades as anti-fascist but is actually fascist, the same party that mimics the brown shirts of Germany and the black shirts of Mussolini's time, the fascists themselves, the same party that institutes all these policies that goes against you and what you actually believe and then what's actually in the creed of this great nation of ours. That whole thing there that I just rattled off the top of my damn head, for some reason they can't sit there and absorb the fact that who they've been voting for is not advancing this country in the right direction. It's not advancing their locality. It's not advancing their state, and it's not advancing this country. But for some reason, their ego doesn't want to accept that because they've been painting this picture their entire life in the education system that basically been a factory of the Democrat Party and the progressive left indoctrinating their children to grow up as these woke libs. Now sit there and go, wow, this is great. We should continue to defund the police. We should allow these people to run roughshod over people's businesses, regardless of the race of the business, and everything's going to be fine. I totally support it. I'll keep voting it in. It is crazy. It is insane. The things that are supposed to be normal to the Democrat Party is insane. And the things that are crazy in real life, the Democrat Party considers normal. They look at this and go, well, that's fine. Not a big deal. Should we prosecute them? No, not really. But Donald Trump, you guys. But Donald Trump, orange bad man Donald Trump, $130,000 of hush money. Let's prosecute him. But all these other people taking place, now they shouldn't go to jail. They shouldn't go to prison. No. Put them in prison for 20 years for all I care. At least send a message, do something. But nothing's going to happen, folks, as you can imagine. If you really want to do something, support a true American patriot by hitting that like and subscribe button, folks. If you haven't already, buy our copy of Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Folks, I'm talking to people. I'm like, have you bought the book yet? They go, no, I'm just waiting. Why? Just buy it now. It is a great book. If you want to see how the left is destroying America, a lot of things I rattled off are in this book. We take you through Antifa, how they're defunding the police, how they're indoctrinating your kids in the school system. We'll take you through critical race theory, how it came about. We'll talk you through the abortion, the religious argument, and the secular argument. I mean, it is a fascinating book. We'll talk about just the myths of the Democrat Party and saying that police are hunting down black men like it's just nothing. I mean, I actually walk you through a study that talks about how the Democrats and the progressive lefts and even moderates, there's people out there, you guys, like a large portion of people that literally think police are killing 10,000 plus more black men, unarmed black men every single year. Yeah, you heard that correctly. There was a study that was done that sat there and said that there's a swath of the nation that believe that the police are hunting down unarmed black men in the streets and killing them in rates of 10,000 or more. It's not even close. Not even in the same realm. But we break that down for you in the book, folks. It's a fascinating book. I think you'll love it. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.